A judge has unsealed a filing from prosecutors that alleges new details and evidence in the federal criminal case charging Donald Trump with plotting to overturn the 2020 presidential election. This is a filing that had initially been made under seal, and its purpose is to convince a judge in Washington, Tanya Chutkan, that the acts alleged in the indictment were undertaken in Trump's private or personal capacity and therefore can remain part of the indictment. That's important because the Supreme Court, in a July opinion, said that official acts undertaken by a president are immune from prosecution. And so what this filing intends to do is to convince a judge that everything that Trump did in his failed effort to cling to power was done in his capacity as a private citizen as opposed to a president. And we're learning all sorts of new details that flesh out the portrait of Trump's efforts to cling to power. We're learning, for instance, about conversations he had with Mike Pence, where he was really animated and determined to get Pence on board with refusing to certify the counting of electoral votes. But you can see that January 6th and Trump's efforts to remain in power after the 2020 election really still factor into this presidential race. And those chain of events are part of the case that Democrats are making for trying to argue that Trump is unfit for power. And during the vice presidential debate this week, we in fact heard both candidates, Tim Walz on the Democratic side and J.D. Vance on the Republican side, talking about January 6th and responding to a question about those events. And so it really still very much matters in the minds of the parties.